Hello, so this will be the last make or repair mailbag before Christmas, and in fact it'll probably be the last video I do before New Year. Now I might get bored in between Christmas and New Year and shoot one where I just faff around with a few bits and pieces and play about and see what happens, but certainly this is planned to be my last mailbag. Now in the new year I'm going to change the format slightly of this and I will open them as they arrive, shoot a quick bit of video and then piece it together about every 2 to 3 weeks. Because most of my mailbag is ordered by me, I kind of know what's in it and I've ordered it for a purpose, so I need to use it. But anyway, let's get started with this lot just here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items here, I think. There's actually 11, but the 11th was on a pallet. And it was actually just a couple of 100 kilos of clay for the ceramics area. So, you know, it's just a load of plastic bags. I'm not going to bother showing you that. Let's get started with this guy though. I know what's in here. It's nothing wildly exciting, I'm afraid. I will just kind of leave the camera where it is for a minute, maybe just go a bit wide angle. There you go. So this should, I hope, yep, be a load of small plastic tubs, and these are because having done that nickel plating video, I need somewhere to put, these will just be the caps, yeah, I need somewhere to put the chemicals that I've made up. So these are just 2 litre little containers, HDPE containers for me to do that with. So they're just a quick eBay purchase, sorry, I'll link in down below. So what's this guy then? It says fasteners. Fasteners. I don't recall ordering any fasteners. I might have, who knows, I order all sorts of things. So yeah, we're still on the wiser, really. Oh yes, I think I know what it is. Let's just get that. So we're doing well with the Chinese newspaper today. Something about solar panels just here, but anyway. Yeah, plenty of rubbish. Have you worked out what it is yet? There we go. Yep, so these are graphite plates, 160 by 100 millimeters, and yeah, so if you see my video on what a state! If you see my video on rust removal, electrolytic rust removal, you'll know in there that I said that the best choice for the anodes are plates like this. So anyway, there we go. There's 2 of them there. So I'll be having slightly cleaner and tidier rust removal than I have been doing so far. So what have we got next? So we've got this guy here. Our sincere apologies. In other words, Royal Mail have made a rick of this one. This apparently contains a computer development board. It might do. Oh yeah, okay, so I know what this is. There we go. And it's an ESP32 cam. So it has a camera adapter just here. And this little guy here, if I can bring him on, is the actual camera. So, yep, so there you go. So yeah, the camera basically plugs into this socket. This guy plugs into your breadboard or whatever you want to plug it into, and yeah, and that's it basically. It's a bit difficult for me sometimes to deal with deliveries when I'm in the studio or lab areas, because they're quite a long way from the delivery point. So the plan is to have one of these set up and to do a little bit of capture over Wi-Fi from it, and perhaps trigger it on an infrared device. So I've actually got another couple coming. This one was from eBay. What's up next then? This guy here. So this is from London, and my thumb is carefully over my address, and we have apparently got a rubber belt. That being the case, I will open it fairly carefully. Okay, so yep, so literally, yeah, we do have more than one rubber belt. We've actually got to think about 200 rubber belts here. And these are for things like cassette players and tape decks and things like that. And the reason I bought these is because I have awful problems getting the rubber belts when I'm repairing things like reel-to-reel tape recorders, for example. I actually bought the kit of belts specific to the Philips tape recorder that I've repaired recently. But one of the bolts was the wrong size, and it turns out there's two models of that tape recorder, and the only bolts I can get are for the later model. And of course I'm repairing the earlier one, and one of the belts is the wrong size. So that's, I decided I would stock up with a selection of small rubber belts. Okay, so here's a couple more of those ESP32 cam modules. So anyway, those have arrived, so I'll be able to have a play with those in the new year. Let's have a look at this guy now, and I think I'll just zoom out and change camera. Turns out I'm weaker than I thought. Yeah, okay, so I have recalled what this is. So this guy is a TL8662 programmer. Now, from some of my earlier videos, some of you may recall that I actually have one of those just down here. And I think it's actually the same model. So yeah, this is exactly the same model as far as I can see, complete with the extra programming port on this side, which is used for in-circuit programming when you need to do it. And here is the actual box. Let's bring the camera back round. So here's the box. And yet we've got the USB cable and a little cable in here with the little breakouts for in-circuit programming. So that's absolutely fine. This isn't going to go back together now, is it? Okay. Now, why did I buy a second one? Well, actually I bought a second one because there was a really, really good offer on the ones that had on actually the peripherals that go with it. So, okay. So first up, there's the little SOIC test clip. Not the most useful thing, but quite helpful. And there's another one here. So this one has basically been fitted up. They're the same clip. It's just that one's been fitted up with a cable and one has not. This is an IC extractor. Never really use those. And down here we've got a selection of adapters. So I'd need to count the pins on that. Yeah, I can't count it at the moment. That is a SOP 28 pin adapter. So basically you push down these sides. See if we can get a better view of that. So you push down those sides there, which is spring loaded. It opens up the jaws. You can pop your SOP 28 in, or your wide SOP package in there. Or SOIC passive wide SOIC, and release those and it locks it in place. So it's a zero insertion force socket for that purpose, and it adapts down to the pin pitch for the zero insertion force for this. So that's really, really helpful. Again, of course, an eBay buy directly from China. And yeah, you can see a whole bunch more there. Okay, let's have a little look. Let's deal with this large Digikey. So obviously this is a load of components. Okay, usual Digikey packing. Okay, so what have we got in here? Basically, we've got a lot of ICs, really. Now, most of these are ICs for the logic computer processor that I'm building. There are a couple that are slightly more interesting, though. That one, which I've forgotten I'd ordered. So, this is some 32 TSOP flash. It's 2 meg flash, so 256K by 8 bits. And I've got two main uses for this. So one use is for the logic processor that I'm building. And these are TSOP32s. So I've actually prepared these boards. And these take a TSOP32 and convert it into a 32 pin DIP. But if you try and buy these on eBay, you will find that they connect pin 1 down to pin 1 of the TSOP up in this corner to pin 1 of the DIP just here. Now that is not the correct layout for converting a TSOP32 flash into a 32-bit DIP flash. The pin out is different. So I've done these boards so the pin out from my 32 pin TSOP corresponds to 32 pin DIP memory for the same part type. I've got quite a lot of these. I might put them up on eBay if anyone is interested. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do that. So that's that. The other use that I've got for that is if I turn this around. So yeah, so down here there are two BBC microcomputers. Now I bought these for doing some work that I wanted to do to expand them and things like that. I've been recapping them. And so these are both working, they're both recapped. And one of them contains an expansion board, which is a ROM expansion board, which is built in a similar style than some projects I was building when I was back in college days, in fact. But I wanted to do some different ones using some flash RAM and some flash memory and some big SRAM, because I also have someone here. I've got a Watford Electronics so this is a Watford Electronics RAM expansion for the BBC Micro. And yeah, I do have some of the ROMs that make use of that as well. So I've reverse engineered that and I've decided that what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to make a flash ROM board that will accommodate 16 ROMs for inside the BBC Micro, and also the expansion RAM for that board there, all on a single board. And you'll be able to load your disk images, so your ROM images from disk and or from a little flash device, and store them on there. So that's the plan anyway, when I get round to it. So yeah, so those BBC Micros have been sitting there a bit longer than I care to admit, really, but anyway, there we go. So that's what that's for. This is some SRAM. Yeah, so this is 32 megabit SRAMs for use in the logic processor. And this is some more flash. It's just a different speed, basically. Again, for use in the processor. This is the one that I said, oh, I've forgotten I'd ordered that. But anyway, so yeah, I think this is something like 40 nanoseconds, and the other one is 55 nanoseconds. And these two devices here, in their careful wrapping, are two accelerometers, which measure 2 to 16G. Well, they measure down to no G, really, but they can be calibrated to either read 0 to 2 or 0 to 16G. They're I2 squared, SPI as well. Unfortunately, they've got a very awkward pinout. But yeah, I fancied doing some experiments with those. So watch this space for that in the new year. I was a bit surprised when I found a card in it saying, you know, hey, this is a nice gift. Thanks very much. But unfortunately, there's nothing in it to say who it's from. So thank you very much, whatever company sent this to me as a free gift. Yeah, I've got no idea about it really. So apparently it is a Charge Mini 3 portable wireless speaker. So this should pair with my phone, and yeah, we can use it as a speakerphone, we can use it as a battery charger, so 6,000 milliamp hours, so 6 amp hours, and yeah, and apparently it's wireless and all the rest of it. So I will probably do a quick tear down of this and then see if it works, of course. So we've got a charger cable, and then we've got a blue device, speaker in the end with a very strange sticker on it that's off center, just quality build there. Little rubbery feet on this side, volume control, some sort of controls on the top, and on the back we've got on off. It's got a battery. Okay, I really needed that. And yeah, battery's flashing away. We've got a TF card slot, DC in, and a USB slot on the back. Do we have any instructions? That'll be a no. So at the moment I've got no real knowledge how to make use of this, but yep, there it is. Yep, so there we go, Charge Mini 3 Plus portable wireless speaker for use with loads of devices, apparently. All right, this guy then. So from Amazon, obviously. And yeah, okay. Okay, so book on electroplating. I had hoped that this was going to arrive before I did my nickel plating, but sadly it arrived the day after, of course. Murphy got me there, because I was sort of thinking, well, you know, if this arrives I might be able to speak a little bit more knowledgeably. But as it was, I managed by looking things up and doing a bit of research online. The idea with this is it covers a lot more subjects than just nickel plating, and of course I had a quick sort of preview of what it was like, and of course it explains the process quite well, and talks about various things which are quite difficult to deal with. So for example, a lot of stuff to do with copper, gold, all sorts of stuff. So I will link this in down below. There's zinc in here, there's all sorts of stuff, sections on common problems, lots of stuff to do with different electroplating processes and types, zinc, nickel onto copper, nickel onto aluminium, steel, etc. And it seems to range from the sort of back garden hobbyist type thing right through to, well, I'm not going to say industrial, but people wanting to do this as part of their crafts and restoration type activities. So yeah, anyway, there we go. I think there's some stuff in here as well which isn't about electroplating, it's about actually cold plating, just chemical plating without electricity, which is used sometimes to get kind of like a base coat on before you do your electroplating. This one here. Amazon. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so I think this is the last one. So this is from Amazon, and this is a 1 terabyte portable SSD. Now, I actually already have one of these. I bought this because right at the moment the price is really, really keen, but it's read and write is 1050 megabits per second, which is really, really fast for an external USB 3 device. You can get plenty of external SSDs at 1 terabyte and above, in fact. And I think these go to 4 terabytes in this particular form factor. But most of them do not offer that read and write speed. I actually use one of these for my video streaming, so I've got my cameras running, some of them at 4K, and they're running onto one of these discs. In fact, this video right now is streaming onto one of these. So these are pretty small, as you can see. I don't know what it is, 2 inches by 3.5, something like that. There'll be some exact measurements somewhere, I'm sure. And yeah, and there it is. Very nice indeed. So yeah, 1 terabyte, plug straight into your USB 3, and yeah, here's a little USB 3 cable for it. Very short, and the reason for that is speed, basically. And it's got a little adapter, USB 3 to USB A, so USB C to USB A, and that's your lot. Now, I've seen a couple of people in the reviews and feedback on this device saying that they're not getting the full speed that they expected. There's a couple of possible reasons for that. One is that they're actually plugging it into something like a USB 3.0 or USB 3.1. I'm afraid is that the bandwidth isn't there on your device. Even if it's there on your device, it may not be able to negotiate the bandwidth through one of these sockets. So the USB-C actually is not just a cable to cable, it actually has a chip in the end there. And yeah, so as part of its initial handshake, this and the computer will have a chat to each other and also take a look at the cable to see what it is capable of supporting. So not all USB 3 and 3C cables are equal. So I've got one cable that's got 10 gigabits transmission rate and I get the full speed from that. I've got other cables which basically move virtually no data around at all, like running a USB 2 standard, but are good for charging. And I've got other cables that are sort of in the middle. They'll do like, you know, maybe 500, 480, 500 meg instead of the 1000 meg that we're expecting. So yeah, mileage will vary depending upon your cable. Okay, so that's about it for this mailbag. This is certainly the last thing I will shoot before Christmas. I may shoot something between Christmas and New Year, but anyway, have a good Christmas, have a happy New Year, and I'll see you soon with some more projects. Bye for now.